What's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is my October reading wrap up. I read a total of 10 books in the month of October. That's very good. But we're going to move to my seat for the day. Yeah, we're going to get right into this. First off, we're going to start with the stats of the month. I read 3 romance books, 3 mystery books, 2 nonfiction, and 2 other random genres. And in total, 10 books. Very good in the month of October. Tonight when I'm filming this, I just went trick-or-treating. It's November 1st. I think this is going out tomorrow, but just went trick-or-treating because trick-or-treat in my town was pushed back to today because last night the football team played in playoffs. I don't know. I think it's dumb that it wasn't on Halloween because of football. Whatever. Alright, so the first book I read in the month of October was Fake Skating. This came out on September 30th. Whole vlog of me reading this. Go watch it. It's great. This is one of my favorite books of the entire year. Not to spoil my review or my vlog, but 5 stars, obviously. Look at these annotations. Crazy. Oh, this book. So flipping good. Okay, so this book follows Danny and Alec. They used to be best friends when they were younger, and something happened, and now they don't speak anymore. And Danny's parents are getting a divorce, so she is moving back to Alec's town to live with her grandpa, and they have to meet again. And obviously the book's called Fake Skating, so some fake dating scheme goes down. This book is so good. If you're looking to get into Lynn Painter, definitely pick this up. If you have already read all of Lynn Painter's books, or you've read Better Than the Movies, Alec is Liz's cousin from Better Than the Movies. This book though. And this was my second hockey book that I've ever read. I read Rival Darling to kind of get myself ready for this, I guess. Love it. Perfect. Love the hockey elements. Done well. Not too much. Not too, into the hockey that, you don't understand, you know? And the romance, the tension, the banter, the comedic aspects, just... And my copy is the BAM exclusive, and it's signed by Miss Lynn. My baby. The second book I read in the month of October was The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, my first Freida McFadden book. I rated this 4.75 stars. Very, very good thriller. I've heard mixed reviews, people say it's it's okay, it's not the best. I guessed everything. I saw everything coming. It was blah. This was really, really good. I don't understand those reviews. Thankfully, I didn't get it spoiled, and thankfully, I didn't figure it out because the twist got me so good. But anyway, this follows This follows Millie, and Millie has just been released from prison. And I can't tell you why, because you figure that out later on. But Millie is just released from prison. She's living in her car. She's not doing great. She just got fired. So she needs a job. So she then finds this housemaid job. She applies for it, whatever, ends up getting the job. And the lady, Nina, who employs her, is crazy. She's making everything a mess, making everything really hard for Millie, but Millie's they're paying me really well, I gotta stay in this. And you're just figuring out, why is Nina so crazy? Why is she doing this? And read this book. It's really good. Really good for spooky season, Halloween, but good for anything in general, anytime in general, because it's not around Halloween or anything. So, great book. 4.75 stars. Then for school, I'm homeschooled. My parents had me read The World's Worst Ideas by Connor Boyack, or the Tuttle Twins, whatever. This is nonfiction, so I don't rate nonfiction usually. But this is basically like things that the world is that are the worst ideas and whatever. I'll read you some of the content. So like taxes, central banking, government welfare, gun control, minimum wage, climate change, all that type of stuff. This took me a really long time to read, but I feel like I learned a lot. I was quite bored. Obviously, it's nonfiction, teaching you things, but I feel like I did learn a lot and it did help me. So, yes, and they're putting a lot of these Connor Boyack or Tuttle Twins books on me to read for school. But no, I did learn a lot from this. So then I read The Red Badge of Courage for school. This was like my parents didn't tell me to read this. This was through like my homeschooling thing. I rated this 2 stars. It was horrible. Like, it's basically follows this boy Henry, and he's doesn't feel like his life is like good, so he decides to enlist in the Civil War. And it's just following him through Civil War and like basically watching people getting shot the entire time. So it's just like, and like I didn't even learn which side of the Civil War he was fighting for. During this entire book, I have no idea which side he was fighting for. So, obviously, not a very informative read, and couldn't tell you hardly anything that happened. 2 stars. Then I read Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Her shelf is right here. This is the second Grandest Game book, and this, I can't really say much, but it's basically The Grandest Game is the first part of The Grandest Game. This is the second part of The Grandest Game. It's basically a game that Avery, the main character from the first series in this universe or whatever, with all the money she has she makes this game with all the brothers from the original series, and like then people get to play it and win this money or whatever. So yeah, so it's the second part in The Grandest Game, and I can't really say much because it's the second book in the series, but I did enjoy it. Found myself bored in some parts, but the last 100 pages were great, and I will be reading the last book in the trilogy. This was 4 stars. Then I read this graphic novel, Pumpkinheads, which I saw my friend Abby read and looked interesting, so I got it from the library. So I read this and it was okay. It was just following, I forget their names, I'm not good with names. Sorry, not good with names. Unless I like am holding the book in my hands or I really, really liked it, okay? So this guy and girl have worked at this pumpkin patch every fall of their high school career, and they're graduating, so this is their last night at the pumpkin patch or pumpkin festival type thing, and they're like doing things that they never did before, and like it's a romance book, so obviously you know what happens. But yeah, this was 4 stars. Some things that I was like, this does not need to be added in here, but good, cute overall. Then I read Where the Crawdads Sing. This book was recommended to me by my cousin Liz. Her channel's Liz Likes Books, so go subscribe to her. She hasn't posted in a while. Post, Lizzie Goo. I know you watched this. Sorry. But yeah, so she recommended this for the fall time. And this follows Kaya, and Kaya is abandoned by her family when she's very, very young. And she has to grow up in this marsh, which is kind of like a swamp beach area in the middle of nowhere, all by herself from like 7, I want to say, until she's like an adult. And just her surviving on her own. There's mystery aspect of this kid gets killed and she's accused for it later in time. Like you get 2 point of views. You get her point of view growing up, and then you get the cops trying to figure out who killed this guy later on. And her POVs basically work their way to that timeline of the other POV. But there's romance in this. It was so good. I'm so glad I read it. I love the nature aspect, how nature was described and how animals and birds and like everything of that. I loved that. And the romance was really good. It like made me feel these emotions. I was mad, I was sad, I was like, why? It was really good. Really good. I didn't want to put it down. 4.5 stars for this one. Then I read Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This is a library book. I need to return it. I will be very soon. But Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This was cute. I went into it thinking it was a romance book. It partly is, but it's like feels very unfinished in the end. So I don't know if it's like there's gonna be more. I don't think so. But yeah, this follows Lucy, and Lucy and her mom own this little coffee shop called Cup of Joe, and they're running it by themselves. Her mom's a single mom. She's an only child. Like, there's no father figure in her life. Like, whatever. They own this coffee shop, and they run it together. And then one day, this kid shows up in town. New kid. He's very nice. Whatever. Then they see that him and his parents are opening a chain coffee shop across the street from theirs. And she is out to get this man. She is so upset, so mad. And then on another note, she hates pumpkin spice lattes. She's against them. They're artificial. Her coffee shop only makes real stuff, which is good. She's so mean to him, like so excessively mean to him. And he's being nothing but nice to her. Like, it's his parents that are opening this shop. Like, but yeah, it goes through. They strike up a friendship. They're kind of enemies, but they're also like frenemies, I guess. And they start trying to make the perfect pumpkin spice latte. And it was okay. There was no romance whatsoever. And I went into it thinking it was going to be romance. But the fall vibes were immaculate. I read this on my road trip, and we were going through the mountains with all these beautiful trees, and it was just, it was so atmospheric, and I really liked that part of it. But the no romance part was kind of like, come on. But you get little teeny bits of tension, like you can tell that there's feelings blossoming, but like, so this is 3.75 stars. Then I read 1984 with my friend Maddie, annotated. We like made a little book club type thing. Like, it wasn't like a buddy read, but kind of like a buddy read. Like, we're calling on the 3rd to discuss this. But I also read it because my dad bought this for me because he wanted me to read it, but he hasn't read it. So he kind of wanted to read it through me, but now he says he's going to read it. I don't know. So I was kind of annotating it, and I showed him all my annotations and like, whatever. But this was written in 1949. It's basically George Orwell predicting 1984, and everything in this book has about come true in today's society. So that's very creepy. It didn't necessarily come true in 1984, but it's very much true today. But this follows Winston. Winston is terrified. He is being watched at every second by these telescreens, which are basically TVs that you're not allowed to turn off, that are issued by the government to watch you, listen to you at all times, give you orders. And you will get arrested for going against the government, thinking against the government, all that stuff. So Winston does the worst of the worst. Write a diary of his thoughts. And so he's just waiting to be vaporized, which is taken, killed, what happens all the time, disappeared, like disappearing, never to be seen again. This is happening all over the world. This isn't necessarily like coming true, but it's like, I don't know. But yeah, so he's just waiting for that. There's romance in this book. I got so mad. But I did get a little bored at times, but very good message. Some of the stuff in this, some that I annotated is like so good, but no, I would recommend this. Don't trust the government. Question the government. Don't go with it. Yeah. I rated this 3.75 stars. And I feel horribly for Winston, and I fear that we all are like Winston, which is not good. So yeah. Then the last book I read was my second nonfiction, Writer's Guide to Story Structure and Beyond by Mary Frame. Now this is a small author. She writes mainly romance and mystery books, I believe. I haven't read anything other than this by her, but she has written, I don't know how many novels, but it's over 15 books, which is good, which is crazy. That's crazy. I also annotated some of this because this is helping me get out of my writing slump. It's helping my writing become better. It's just giving me it gave me all this advice. I feel so confident to start writing again in my novels. Yeah, and definitely check out Mary Frame. This I got at a local bookstore, and it is signed because the owner of the bookstore is friends with this woman. This woman is from Nevada, so very, very cool. But I am very glad I read this. It also has such comedic writing, and such, like, she ties in different movies and books to, like, her examples, and I loved that. And it felt like a fiction novel, felt like just a regular book, because I couldn't put it down. So that, love that. But yeah, definitely pick this up if you are struggling with writer's block, or just writing in general. You just want advice to go on to your writing, because this truly helped me so much. I rated this 5 stars on Goodreads because any small author I know that I read, I will just rate their books 5 stars to get their ratings good. But I don't rate nonfiction, so don't count that as a rating. But yeah, those are the 10 books I read in the month of October. I'm very happy with what I read because obviously full-time school, read 2 school books, but they still count toward my reading goal. So, but yeah, I finished my 115th book, I think. So 10 away from my reading goal for the year. And I'm about to start another book tonight. I'm so excited. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. If you made it this far, comment down below the book emoji and the pumpkin emoji. It can be the stack of books or the open book or just any book in the pumpkin emoji, just to know who the real ones are and who watches to the end. And yeah, make sure you like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to. Trying to make it to 10K by the end of the year. Not gonna happen, but you can help by subscribing, and share this video to your friends if you think they'll like it. And if you've read any of these books, comment down below your thoughts on them. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Come off of this, please, my lord. Did I know? I just cannot help it. I like the way you're selfish. I know, yeah, I know. To indulge. Might need to move it a little bit. So hot in here. So hot. Oh my lord. Turn my fan on. You see how red my face got? I think it's the hair. It's just basically, I say basically too much. But she's just so unnecessary mean to him. That's not the word. Take a shake back into my life.